Consider the lemon tree. Just consider it. We are doing a little improv today. We are bebopping and scatting all over the place. I want a big lemon tree, a big gargantuan lemon tree right in the middle of your Italian villa courtyard. There is an abundance of fruit, heavy with fruit, lush with leafy green foliage, you know, like a waxy lemon leaf. If you know what I mean. There's no innuendo behind this. I always add, if you know what I mean, if you know what I mean. This lemon tree is not without fellow lemon trees. Lemon trees flanking it on all sides. We're gonna call it a lemon grove. I'm gifted with words here. Under the canopy of this lemon tree, we have a long, rustic, weather-beaten table set with mismatched plates and utensils and a big bowl of pasta. Let's just call it spaghetti, just be a little bit more stereotypical. But you can have other kinds of pasta, like a baked ziti. But I want spaghetti for what we're planning to do here. And we also have a fresh summer salad with ripe tomatoes. And on this table setting, we have tomatoes on the vine, just placed there. We have a fish dish, a lemon and olive oil fish dish, and we also have a homemade mozzarella drenched in olive oil, you know, the whole caprese salad thing. We have sparkling lemonade, we have wine, Aperol spritz, water from the well. And then just picture yourself. You're sprawled on one of the seats waiting for the guests to gather. And you're reading a tattered paperback book with the cover torn off, the spine all cracked, pages yellowed. And you're wearing a flowy yet form-fitting summer dress with delicate floral pattern, not big Hawaiian hibiscus flowers or magnolias here. We're talking delicate little white florals, baby's breath, I would say. Typically, it's a red dress, and your skin is sun-kissed. Your hair is gathered up into a tousled, messy bun. Your fringes lay upon your forehead just so. And you're wearing your, effortless, bare face, no makeup. Your feet are encased in espadrilles. One foot is encased in an espadrille. The other one is kind of half in the shoe and half out the shoe. Like the shoe is dangling, your heels are exposed. You're just kind of sprawled in this chair, soaking up the sun. The dappled sunlight is like all over you. One strap of your dress has fallen down like so, bearing one shoulder. This is all very natural. Nothing is very meticulous. Everything is a little messy, but if somebody were to take a photo of you, this entire scene would look like an Annie Leibovitz Vogue photo shoot about an Italian summer dinner. When dinner is ready and it's time to eat, you would eat not delicately, you would eat with gusto. And what I mean by that is with your fork, you would twirl the largest yarn of spaghetti. It would all go in your mouth. You take big bites. You would just slurp your spaghetti, some marinara sauce around your chin, but it still looks good. It's a little messy, but it looks good. When you eat your bruschetta, you would be scooping up that bruschetta with your focaccia, taking large bites of the bruschetta. You know how bruschetta will automatically fall off the toast and make a giant mess on the plate and maybe on yourself, but you don't care because you have tomatoes and olive oil dribbling down your chin, on your lips. It's like a greasy lip and between your fingers. This is the kind of eating with gusto that we're talking about because you are living your life to its fullest. You're looking great, you're looking glamorous, you're definitely relaxed, but you're living in the dolce vita. And that is what we are going to talk about today. My name is Teresa, and I've just painted for you a very romanticized version of an Italian summer dinner. We are going to talk about an aesthetic as old as time, an aesthetic that I believe has existed even before the word aesthetic has been used in popular language. It's a vibe, and it is an aspiration, and it is a romance. Whether it exists in real life or not, or just in photos, or in our imagination, or in movies, who knows, but we're here for it. We're here to just admire and soak up the Italian summer aesthetic. or the Mediterranean Vacation Resort Look, or the Tomato Girl aesthetic, whatever. It comes by many names. We don't even have to call it an aesthetic. We're just going to call it a way of life. Every time spring slips into summer and the new crop of linen clothing, new crop of summer dresses come about, I'm very tempted. I may not buy, but I do look. Like every year without fail, even though I don't really wear as many dresses as I used to, I still can't help myself, and I still have this aspirational vision of wearing a romantic summer dress. You know, during 2020, when cottagecore was at its height. Oh, I can't even begin to tell you all the puffy sleeve dresses that I looked at, all the square neck puffy sleeve dresses that I looked at on every single retailer, hoping that that dress will look like a dress from Reformation, which I can't afford, but I don't want to. You know, you choose what you do with your money. Dropping $250 for a summer dress is not really what I want to do with my money. So I would look at J. Crew. I would look at Old Navy. I would look at Ann Taylor. I would look at Nordstrom, you know, always checking for sales. I try to buy things on sale to see if there's any dress that looks like it could be a dupe from Reformation, but there's always a little bit off. So even though I don't need any more clothes, that's my weakness, summer dresses. I still can't help looking at the romantic summer dresses because deep inside me, I yearn, I aspire to have a very picturesque summer vacation. And the irony is I never really envisioned myself having an ideal Mediterranean vacation because I already live in a Mediterranean climate. And I don't really even like traveling during the summer. I like traveling during the fall, sometimes the winter, and sometimes the spring. I like to travel around the summer. And yet at the same time, I like looking at summer dresses. So there's a contradiction for you. But the thing is, with living in a Mediterranean climate, you could wear a summer dress all year round if you have a mind to. That sounds like a very Southern thing to say, and not Southern California. I reckon I could wear summer dresses all year round if I've got the mind to, which I do. I have the mind to wear summer dresses all year round. I have a weakness for summer dresses. And I think it all comes down to having this romantic image in my mind of living the simple life, a lazy vacation where I just kind of lounge around the pool or a fountain in the Italian Girl summer case, reading a book or having a 3-hour-long lunch with friends and family, taking a siesta, a nap after that, perking myself up with an espresso, dancing the night away, or going on a sunset bike ride or Vespa ride. The whole idea carried over from school. Summer means summer break, and you don't have to work, which is not something that happens in adulthood after you leave school. So the romance here comes from actually having a summer break, of having 3 months where you don't have to do anything but enjoy your life. But that doesn't happen in adult life because companies don't take breaks, at least not in America. Maybe in Europe they do. We don't have 4-day work weeks. We have 5-day work weeks, 40 hours a week, maybe more. Actually, probably 60 hours a week. And if you're self-employed, you work 24/7. You work all the time. When you're not working, you're thinking about working. So this aesthetic on the surface doesn't seem that deep. But when you really peel back the layers, what we are romanticizing deep down is that we're romanticizing rest and relaxation. Rest and relaxation in a capitalist society. So the Italian Girl summer is basically the antidote to toxic productivity. Now, during 2020, during the height of the cottagecore aesthetic craze, that was also a form of escapism. As current events become bleaker and bleaker, then fashion responds with an antidote. That's why when you look at all of history, when you look at every single decade, if it is a decade of turmoil, then you start seeing people dress up like they want to live in the country. Like in the 70s, for example, it was a decade of rising oil prices, it was a decade of serial killers just having a field day, lots of political unrest, the economy was in the dumps, and then everybody started dressing like they were from 1910s, the Edwardian revival, another cottagecore look. During 2020, you know what happened? Then we had cottagecore dresses, and then all throughout lockdown, started romanticizing this Italian girl summer. But I would say the Italian girl summer, the Mediterranean vacation romance is not the trends of the week. It's not something brought about from season 2 of White Lotus, which I watched a few months ago and I love. It's a classic look that I have been aware of even before social media. It's a classic look with nods to 50s glamour, with nods to 50s cinema that has been perennial over decades. Whether or not locals in Italy actually dress like this, or if this is just something that tourists believe that locals dress like. It's like, when you go on vacation, if you buy new clothes specifically for vacation, new shoes and brand new outfit, and it obviously looks like you just bought these clothes specifically to go on vacation and look the part, you might stand out like a sore thumb. It's like a neon sign pointing to you that says that you're a tourist. And maybe people could rob you. You know how there's reports about so many tourists now swarming Italy. There's so many tourists in Venice that they have to charge an entry fee to get into the city, and it makes it so that locals can't really live there. They can't live their lives anymore. It drives up the prices for the locals. The geopolitical issues involved with tourism or over tourism is a multifaceted, complicated one. We're not going to talk about something that deep. We're going to talk about something much more shallow, but entertaining. The wardrobe essentials of what makes the quintessential Italian girl summer. You have to have a fitted, like it's kind of a sexy fit, but it's also very modest as well. Fitted yet flowy summer dress. 95% of the time, I see it in red with delicate white floral prints. We're not talking about big floral prints like big Hawaiian hibiscus flowers or magnolia flowers or what have you. We want tiny little babies' breath flowers. You know what I'm talking about? It's an iconic dress. You can wear it in dress form, skirt form, long skirts, short skirts, the 2-piece set. I've been on the lookout for this dress for about 20 years and I've never been able to find it. I mean, it's a very common dress. I know that Amazon has a ton of these dresses. Either Amazon Basics or some kind of third-party drop ship seller has these dresses. So let me know if you bought a dress like this off Amazon and let me know what you think of the quality. So that's one of the main key features. If you just buy a beautiful dress, you're already 90% of the way there. You don't necessarily have to wear a dress. You can wear a 2-piece set. You can wear wide-legged linen pants. In the 30s, they were called Riviera pants or palazzo pants with the off-the-shoulder peasant blouse. You gotta have espadrilles. The espadrilles completes the outfits. Now, I still see touches of 50s glamour within these modern photos. I see the big movie star sunglasses, the silk scarf tied around one's hair, the wide brim straw hats. I still see touches of that, but now it's a more modernized look. But I always see these models in front of some kind of farmer's market or fruit stand. They're always buying fruit. Fruit goes with this outfit. Maybe that's where you get the name Tomato Girl Summer. They're always in front of a bunch of tomatoes or lemons, or they're always eating some kind of fruit. They're cutting up the fruit and this outfit goes together. She's always reading. It has to be a physical book. Extra points if the book is something older, like from the 70s, from the 80s, a tattered paperback or a tattered hardback, broken spines, yellowed pages. There's always a fountain involved, always kind of just lounging on the lip of a fountain, riding the Vespa with your scarf cinematically flowing behind you. There's some gelato eating, fountain splashing. Basically it's the La Dolce Vita. I have seen that movie and I saw that movie specifically because back in 2006, 2007, I read Roger Ebert's book, The Great Movies. Roger Ebert loves that movie and it was in his great movies list. He very much romanticized the journalists in the movie because he himself was a journalist in the 60s. He was really into films from the 60s. I remember the iconic moments, but having only seen it once, I can't quote it verbatim like I can some movies. So unfortunately, there's no quoting verbatim of movies here, but I do appreciate it for the vibes and the inspiration. Food is a big element. Food is a huge contributor to the overall vibe of this Italian girl summer, this Mediterranean vacation. There's always a full table, a lived-in table, mismatched plating, wine, a bowl of fruit, or just fruit cut open like a pomegranate cut open with the seeds spilling. Always a bunch of lemons, like a pyramid of lemons. lemons, some tomatoes on the vine, big bowl of yummy pasta, a caprese salad, some olives, sardines with a fun design on the can. It just looks very lived in, slightly messy, but very aesthetic. It's like the aesthetics of messiness. It reminds me of my favorite genre of painting, the Baroque era Dutch still lives. It's a slice of life. It's like you're living the life. You're not afraid to make that mess, cut the fruit, stain the tablecloth. You're living life to its fullest. That's why when I say when the fictional girl eats any kind of food, she eats it with gusto. With gusto meaning not afraid of making a mess. I feel like we've left an era of very meticulously set top-down product shots, very clean table settings on a white background. It's a little sterile, but also meticulous. We're in this maximalist era where we like a little mess. Rustic looking charcuterie boards, tin fish date nights. And several years ago, there was the very popular Lisa Says Ga charcuterie picnic print, which I thought was really fun. And it very much embodies this Italian girl summer. But as much as I like it, the thing with prints is like the more popular it is, the more dated it's fated to be in a few years once the trend has died. So that's probably why, in order to extend the lifespan of my clothing, I like to stick to solid colors and I like to stick to stripes, because stripes never really go viral. They're always there. It's a floral print and it's a unique print, like the House of Sunny, swirls, the Lisa Says Ga print. There was a cow print that was popular several years ago. I don't know if it's popular now anymore. That is fated to be outdated. Fated to be outdated. Like this shirt, for instance, remember several years back when lemon prints were really in? This is not a lemon print. It's just kind of like lemon beads or something, beads that look lemon. I haven't worn this shirt in years. It used to be my favorite shirt, but then I felt like lemons just kind of went by the wayside. I only pulled it out for this video because I talked about lemons. Because lemons are scratchy. When I painted that picture of eating outside, like very romantic picture of eating outside under a lemon tree in a lemon grove at sunset, or maybe just in the middle of the day. What I'm thinking of, and I know what you're thinking of, Call Me By Your Name. I can't quote Call Me By Your Name verbatim, because I've only seen it once. One of the images that's always struck me was the dining scenes. As I said, it's all about food with me. I always notice when people are eating in movies, when I read it in books. I like to read books about food. I also like to read deliciously written restaurant reviews. I am currently reading Counterintelligence, which is a compilation of all Jonathan Gold's restaurant reviews in the LA area. So Call Me By Your Name, an Italian summer in the 80s. That is the sweet spot, guys. I am very much about going on Pinterest and looking at people's collages of the Call Me By Your Name aesthetic. The floral summer dresses, the button downs, the polo shirts. I'm pretty sure if we took a poll, like 95% of people would love this vibe. I don't know anybody that doesn't like this look. Like what kind of animal are you if you don't like this look? The one thing I took from this movie is that it is spectacular to eat outside. And I've always made a note in the back of my mind that why can't, well, I mean, obviously I don't have a yard, so I can't do this. But if I did have a yard, wouldn't it be nice to just set up a table under the canopy of a tree and just have your meals outside, right in your backyard? If I try to set it up in my balcony, there's a lot of freeway exhaust. There's a lot of car exhaust that kind of just coats everything, and also jet exhaust because, under the flight path of the planes. But if you are so lucky to have a nice backyard, it doesn't have to be spectacular. It could just be a suburban backyard with some trees, some flowers, some sage and lavender. Like, why don't you eat outside? You're squandering your backyard, your privileges. It's not so much the aesthetics as the gathering of friends and family around a table to share a meal. And to do that every day, to do that at lunch, at dinner, every day. I feel like that's the appeal for me. If you strip away the aesthetics and you take away the photographic plates and you replace it with paper plates, replace the setting with a suburban setting or a city setting, you can still have the same feeling, the same vibe. I think it's just a matter of good company. Good food, good company. So that's all I have for you today. Let me know what you think about this aesthetic and let me know where to get the perfect summer dress. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you've enjoyed me, consider subscribing to my channel. don't know about this top. These lemons are scratchy. My boobs seem very big right now. I'm thinking I'm pushing double D's here. Everybody at work used to know what my bra size is. Everybody thought I was an A cup. No, I'm 34B, bitches. And now I think I'm gonna upgrade myself to like a 34C. If you gain weight, you also gain weight in your boobs. Okay, so where do I begin? Consider the lemon tree.